Titles, go.
Google, how do I make a pizza?
There's a toilet in the bathroom.
Creepy hippie.
Bring the used vibrator back.
My wife is flexible.
Stupid and funny.
Shadows, rabbits, and shit at 5 a.m.
Shut the fuck up and watch the movie.
One and done.
Watermelon shaped watermelon.
I am the Turd champion.
Hashtag no Kevin Smith man crush.
What the fuck is that?
This just got creepy. All right, let's do this.
Warning. What you are about to hear contains explicit language, adult themes, and potentially disturbing content. The views and opinions expressed are those of the hosts and do not reflect the opinions of anyone else, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. This podcast is intended for an immature audience and should not be listened to by anyone, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. You know, fuck it. You've been warned.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Geek Pod. I'm your host, Hugh.
Corbs.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Jack.
And guys, check it out. Isn't this cool? I've noticed that over the past few weeks, the prerequisite for leading the show is having a really stupid and funny hat. So I went and looking and I found the stupidest hat I could find just so I could make sure I did a good job, just like Paul. And I think I think it works. This is great, isn't it?
You look like Chef from South Park. I love it though.
I actually feel left
Yeah.
out. I actually feel left out because you all have hats on and I don't.
Oh, don't worry. I'm not wearing this longer than this bit, Corbs. This is stupid. I just, I thought it was funnier than the Clerks 3 trailer. So guys, what's got you geeked?
Wow. Actually, it was really good though, that trailer. But the one thing I really did like, but let me tell you what's got me geeked first. I think that's really better. I went to a wedding this past weekend, so it was pretty cool. When one of my best friends got married. She's from Ghana, and it was pretty cool. Like, you had the Ghanaian marriage ceremony first. So, like, she married a white guy. She's black, so it's pretty cool. Like, both families joined, and they had drums, they had music, they had ethnic food. So, like, you had like jambalaya. You had all sorts of food there. Like, not like a normal wedding that we've all been to back, like, but like. Just like seeing like everybody all together, like just seeing both families join together. My girlfriend joined me, but like she looked dressed like, of course, when you go to a wedding, once you get married, like everyone looks always their best. But like my friend that got married, she signaled out my girlfriend, like she's like, "Oh my God, your ex-girlfriend, you look so beautiful," and all that stuff. And she's like, "But you're the damn bride. You look so much better than everybody." My friend is just so genuine. She will take like her shirt off her back for you. Like she's just so sweet. Like her family, they're all doctors in the whole family. And like, she's only in her early 30s, but she's already a neuroscientist. She graduated high school at 16 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit. And
This
she
girl
got naked?
What's up?
She got naked?
No, she might have.
You
in
said
your
she
mind.
took her shirt off.
Yes. No, but yeah, she went to.
I go to that wedding.
I know you would. I know you would take your shirt off too, Kev.
Well, fuck yeah.
Exactly. I know.
Give him a little bit. It's still early. You may take it off tonight.
He might. He actually might. But no, like, but she's like went to Johns Hopkins, went to Cornell University. Like, she's a very smart girl, very sweet. But it's short and sweet. But that's really what's got me geeked. It was a fun marriage ceremony. It was fun to join it with her and just have a great weekend. And that was really cool. But that's what's got me geeked. Short and sweet.
It's awesome.
Saw your picture.
Thank you.
So Corbs, what's got you geeked this week?
Well, for me, it's just being back with you guys. I was off for 2 weeks only because I was house sitting for a buddy of mine. Actually, not a buddy of mine. It's my best friend. I've known him since 8th grade in high school. So we've been friends, since then. He went to South Carolina with his family for 11, 12 days, something like that. So instead of having them have to crate their dogs, they have 2 dogs. Instead of having to crate the dogs, they just ask my son and I to come and stay at the house. So it's for my son and I, it's like a mini vacation. We get to go over there. They got a grill, which I don't have here at my apartment. I can't grill out, so I'm able to grill out, which I absolutely love to do. Got a pool. It's a house, so it's not like living in an apartment. You don't have to be quiet. My son was able to sit downstairs with his buddies and be as loud as he wanted to and stuff like that. We brought his Xbox over and hooked it up to their TV downstairs so that he could play with his buddies for the entire time we were over there. He spent most of the time over there while I had to come home to work every day, Monday through Friday. So we went over there. We started there the Wednesday before the 4th. So it was like not the Wednesday before the 4th, but that first Wednesday. That was the first night we were there. So we were able to go over, like I said, swim. It's just for us. It's pretty cool to go over and hang out and and just be in a house again. I mean, I had a townhouse for a while. It was nice, but now I live with my mom due to health concerns and stuff like that. So, but it's just it's just nice to be over there, to be kind of out of the apartment every night. The only downside was the dogs woke up every morning at 5:15, barking at shadows and rabbits and shit like that. So every morning I was up at 5:15. It's not a big deal during the week because I'm up at that time anyways to be to work at 6:30. But on Saturday and Sunday, it's a bit much to get up at 5:15 and then you really don't go back to sleep after. So, but other than that, it's just nice to be back here with you guys, shooting the shit, hanging out, talking about random crap. So
why weren't we invited to a pool party though? I wanted to come over. Like I needed to come. You said Bryce had his friends over, but why?
Well, he didn't have his friends over. Now I talked to my buddy about that. Like my son wanted to have one of his friends come over, and he said it was fine to have one of his friends over. Now he wouldn't mind if I had friends over. The reason I stay there is the first time they went away, they went to Florida to see before his mom passed away. They went out to see his mom and his dad. They had his wife's. One of her cousins come and stay at the house. She was, I don't say 17 or 18 at the time. And they have cameras in the house because their kids were younger. So they would leave their oldest at home when he was like 15. They had a camera so they could keep an eye on him, just make sure that he got home okay. There was nothing else going on at the house. Well, the first time they were away, her cousin was staying there. And apparently she had whole bunch of people over. They were drinking, doing stupid shit around the pool. So he called me out of the blue. He's like, dude, I need you to go over and crack some heads at my house. And I'm like, what's going on? He's like, well, such is that over there. She's got a bunch of friends over. They're drinking, they're hanging out, they're around the pool, running around the pool and stuff like that. I'm like, you just let me know what I got to do, but I'll be there in a heartbeat. Because let me find out. So he basically called her up and said that she needed to get them out of the house right then and there, and she needed to leave. And then I went and spent the rest of the time over there with the dogs. And ever since then, I've been the one that's been staying there. Last year, my mom came and stayed with us, so I didn't feel bad having to leave and come back and leave and come back. So my son, wasn't able to stay there with my mom or something like that. But he's 14. He'll be 15 in a week. You can believe that. He'll be 15 in a week. That's crazy. So he was able to stay by himself this year, and like I said, he hung out and he brought his Oculus over and his Switch over or something like that, and he just hung out and played with his buddies all day long, watched YouTube, and let the dogs out during the day if they needed to go out or whatever. So
I'm not sure we got an answer to the question of why you didn't invite us over for a party.
Yeah,
I mean,
because I wasn't allowed to.
What's the point of being responsible if you're going to be responsible?
We could have had we could have.
That's why we have Paul. Paul's supposed to be the one inviting us over for pool parties.
Well, that never happens.
I know.
Anyway, so what's got you geek, Kev?
Oh man, I don't know. I guess the weather. It's riding season and it's been freaking great weather. And I got no time to do much of anything. So I guess that's a good thing because I'm just doing stuff. Kathy and I are just on the go all the time. We spent few hours in the sun. What was it? Sunday, I think it was.
That's an appropriate day to spend time in the sun.
Monday. Was that Monday?
Or
Monday
Monday?
was good too. It was all good weather.
was
Monday
Monday.
was a good day.
Monday,
Yeah, Monday, because I come inside and I didn't realize how long we were outside. And I was just like, I was texting Paul because Paul, he was just, he had something going on. I don't know what the hell, had a pool party or something on me come over. And I was texting him 1 second, next second, I freaking dead asleep here on my desk, dead asleep. Eyes closed,
Wow.
head down, just out. Pulled my head up. I'm like, holy shit, what was that? So then I go into the other room, my bedroom, and the cat's on the bed. So I lay on the bed and pet the cat. Boom. Hour and a half later, I get up, I text Paul. I'm like, you still got the burgers on? Not even realizing an hour and a half has gone by. And there it was.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know, it was a great day. It was a great day. It was an awesome pool party at Paul's, by the way. We talked about the Clark Street trailer, but that's all I got.
I didn't hear anything about a pool party. Did you, Jack? Did you, Corbs?
No, like
Alright.
these are 2 pool parties we missed out on, Hugh. So
Yeah.
this sucks.
Well, what's got me geeked is about 15 feet to my left, there is now a new toilet installed in our bathroom. We've been struggling with this toilet. It's not flushed for about 3 years. We've had to use a bowl to flush it. And my wife looked at me and she's like, you know what? We make too much money now to put up with this bullshit. Call somebody. So I called someone, and last Monday, a guy came out from Syracuse Drain, looked at it, discovered it wasn't a blockage, discovered the problem was that the water was not moving from the tank to the toilet fast enough to flush it. And there wasn't anything to do. There was no blockages. I don't know why it just stopped working, but that was that. So we knew what the problem was. They couldn't fix it. We needed a new toilet. So on Saturday, we went to Lowe's and bought a new toilet. Now, replacing a toilet is supposed to be unscrew it, pick up the old one, scrape off the ring, put a new ring down, put the other toilet on, screw it down, right? It's about what, a 40-minute job? You say 40 minutes
If
to an
you're
hour?
taking your time.
Sure.
Okay. 6 hours later, 4 trips to Lowe's later, we finally got it put in. We get the toilet off. We discover that the flange, the part that the bolts go in, just breaks off. It's metal. It's all rusted. It just breaks off.
Ooh, wow.
So I go and buy a new flange, and we discover that that's trip 2. We put the flange on, try to put the toilet on. The toilet doesn't go all the way down. We pull it up and we realize that there's not a hole cut in the tile for the toilet. The flange stuck up, and it stuck up too far. And this flange was weird because there was still like a plastic flange there just without the bolt attachment thing. And we couldn't get it out because it was cemented in. So I go back to Lowe's. I come back with a Dremel. I go to try to use the Dremel, and the thing's just spinning like it's not tight enough. So I go to tighten it. The screw breaks off in the Dremel, completely useless. I'm like, motherfucker, go back to Lowe's for a 4th time, talking to them. And I'm trying to find out what tool I need, because I need to basically either cut this off flat, okay, so that the new flange will fit in, or further down in the pipe. And nothing I have. I mean, I have a hacksaw, but you can kind of get a flat cut with a hacksaw, but with something like that, it's the structure of the hacksaw is going to lift it up enough to create an angle. So it's never going to cut right. So I'm talking to the guys. Now, mind you, over the course of this day, I've talked to about 4 different Lowe's employees. And do you know what happens every time I ask any of them a question? They pull out their phones and Google it. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm training you people. This one guy goes, hey, I don't mind looking this up. I'm learning how to do this too. I'm like, are you kidding?
Oh my God, that's not
Not a single one. And these were ranging from maybe 19 all the way up to, one guy who was close to his 60s, had to be. None of them knew a fucking thing about what they were doing. Now, granted, they were all nice and they all used Google to try to point me in the right direction. But I'm just like, if I walk into a pizza shop and be like, I'd like a pepperoni and sausage pizza, they go, hold on, pull out their phones, Google, how do I make a pepperoni and sausage pizza? I am walking out and not eating at that establishment, okay?
No.
That's just not happening. And finally, one guy directs me to, and it's called an oscillating cutter. It's basically like a super power vibrator, and you stick different shaped blades on it, and it just shakes a lot like that. And I was able to get down and cut the old flange out from inside the pipe.
I think you killed Kev, Hugh.
I mean, I was thinking, the guy said, hey, when you're done, you could just bring it back. But I'm like, you know what? This thing might be useful. I'm sure I could find another use for this. But
You
it
can bring
worked.
the used vibrator back anytime.
But so I finally cut that out, was able to get the new flange on, get the wax ring on, get the toilet on. But all that crouching down and kneeling through all that, because I thought that, I was going to do the heavy lifting. Like, when I couldn't find anybody to help me at Lowe's, I lifted the toilet off the shelf and put it on the cart, which tore my back up. And then I had to move it in the house, and I'm like, I'm doing the heavy lifting, and my wife, she can bend over. She's flexible in a different way. She could sit on the floor with her legs spread and do stuff where not like that. I'm not flexible like that. I get down on the floor, I can't get up. So she was going to handle that stuff, and I was just going to do the heavy lifting. But I had to get down, and man, I'll tell you, I was wrecked. The next day, I'm like, I could barely walk. Every muscle from like my waist down was on fire. But the toilet flushes, and let me tell you, it flushes like a champ. This is not your typical flapper toilet. This has a giant cylinder that looks like some kind of like fucking power pumping thing. I don't know. I figured Kevin to jump on that one, but
I'm still back on the my wife is flexible thing.
I thought it was still back on the used dildo.
I'm thinking Jack needs these things for his little torture
oscillating saw.
I might, Kevin.
Not an oscillating cock. But when you push on this thing, I mean, it's like, I've thrown every turd size I can at this thing so far, and it has taken them like a champ. I am so happy. I mean, you don't know what it's like unless you've lived 3 years with a toilet that wouldn't flush.
Don't you hate it though, Hugh? Like you're doing house projects, you go into Lowe's or like a Home Depot, those same 4 people, you see them again. They're like, oh, welcome back, Hugh. It's like, oh, thanks for having me.
I have Google rewards, that I take a picture of my receipt and it gives me 12 cents for every receipt. I just did those for the past week. I had 4 receipts from Lowe's. I had to load into that thing. It was ridiculous. But that's what's got me geeked. Being able to flush my poop.
And it goes like, whoosh, whoosh.
Yeah, it goes, whoosh. No, not whoosh. It's one, whoosh. And it's done. It's one and done.
Don't get any piece of clothing caught in there. It might take it right with you.
Why would I put clothing in the toilet?
I don't know. I'm just saying, if something happens and you get stuck in the toilet or something, forget about it.
Dude, what happened to you in your life where that's something that occurs to you?
You don't want to know.
That there's more to this than I just thought of that. There's
we had that conversation. We had that conversation when we first met. We don't need to bring that up again. Remember, it's all
So I guess we can move on to games. I don't know if anybody is gaming though. This really hasn't been a segment we've done much with since the summer started. Anybody?
It's like what Kev says. I'm staying outside or just enjoying the nice weather for as long as we can.
Yep.
Nope.
Well, then I guess then it's time for Kev's tabletop review.
How do I stop? All right, so I've got a pretty cool game for you guys this week. It's a card game. It's a deck building game, and it's a Marvel game. It's based on all the Marvel heroes, and it came out in 2019. It's called Marvel Champions: The Card Game. And as I understand it, and I haven't looked too much into this, but it wouldn't take much to figure this out. There have been several add-ons to add more characters, more abilities, be able to build your deck differently, and customize it to your desire. And the way it works is that you pick your hero and you build your deck based on your hero's abilities, and you use those abilities to prevent the villains from seeing through for their master plan, whatever that might be, or you might be trying to beat them down to annihilate them and take them out that way. But you basically play this as a cooperative game where you're playing with 1 to 4 players, and you're playing against whoever the villain is or whoever the villains are. And the villains can have minions, and they have all these other very interesting features and powers. that can either build up over time or be taken down over time. So this is, as I said, is a 1 to 4 player game. Playtime is 45 to 90 minutes, ages 14 and up, and it's got a little bit high on the weight side for what I normally do. It's a weight of 2.89 out of 5. But because it's a Marvel game and the cards actually look really, really cool, they kind of look like what you might find if you were collecting trading cards for the Marvel universe. They kind of look like that quality. Very, very interesting game. Let's see, the categories, mechanisms, cooperative game, deck construction, hand management, scenario, mission, campaign game, solo or solitaire game. I try to always find games that are preferably on the easier side, and every once in a while can be played solo. This is one of those ones that can be played solo. And the other mechanisms are variable player powers and variable setup. So every time you play, the game can be different. Watched a couple of the video playthroughs and reviews on BoardGameGeek.com. Very, very interesting to see how the game works and how to see the layout. The pictures there show all of the different pieces, or a lot of the different pieces that can be used. There's tokens. There's a hit point counter. There are particular ways you leave the cards or you move the cards to show whether or not you are thwarting the villain, or you are attacking the villain, or you are defending yourself from whatever the villain's attack is. And even some very interesting carrying cases that you can load your cards into. I'm looking at one right now, and this is obviously somebody that is a Marvel fan, and they have quite a few pieces in their collection. So Marvel Champions, the card game, looks like it might be in the, I'm trying to load this page again. Sorry, I didn't look at the price. Where are we with price? Ooh, it's kind of expensive to buy in. About $56 to $75, depending upon if you wanted it used or brand new. Marvel Champions, the card game, English edition, 2019, brand new, $75.
Now, I wonder if they've gotten to the point with expand, because all these Marvel games, they start off with like the popular heroes, and then they'll release, like, save some popular heroes. Like, they always release Deadpool and things like that. But they eventually get to the point where, like, the characters they're releasing are like Archon the Magnificent or something that, has not been seen since, the 60s. I wonder if they're at that point yet.
That's a really good question. I haven't, like I said, I haven't looked into the expandability, but I have a feeling, since this was 2019, I have a feeling that they're still exploring some of the more desirable or more mainstream characters. Like, this game starts with Spider-Man, Iron Man, and She-Hulk. Those are your three heroes with the decks that they come with, and the villains you play against are Ultron. Oh shoot, what were the other two? It was Ultron,
Thanos, or
no,
I
two others.
wouldn't think
Dr.
Thanos would be
Doom?
No, it was two others I didn't really know that well.
I wouldn't think Thanos or Dr. Doom would be one of the ones right off the bat. They're well known.
Yeah.
Kev, I have a question for you though. While you
Here's
look
some
that up,
expansions. Yeah.
why'd you pick this game this week? What's the story behind that?
So I was looking through, in all honesty, I was looking through the hottest games on BoardGameGeek.com, and I was trying to find something that kind of fits our typical, like I say, my typical selections, which are easy to learn, but interest, the geek crowd. Not necessarily something that's obscure or so not long ago I picked the one Wingspan. I mean, that was a little bit out there, not necessarily on the geek side, but then I picked Nemesis, which was based on Alien, the movie Alien. So I try to stay within our genre, you know, there's a lot of things we talk about, a lot of things we're interested in, but also try to find games that are quick and interesting, and relatively easy to get into, and that have an appeal. You know, they have an appeal when you look at it. Number one, you're not intimidated by it. There's some games that I went through before I picked this one, where I'm looking at all this and I'm like, wow, what a neat layout. You know, it fills a whole table, and look at, you know, you can get 6 people to play. And then I'm thinking to myself, my God, thousands of pieces to this game. That is like the most intimidating thing that I can think of to try to get somebody to play a game with me. So I'm really always looking for that thing that is, you know, it will draw you in and hold your attention and not, you know, get you frustrated, you know.
Low barrier to entry.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
cool.
And still have this kind of interest, you know. I mean, this is something, you know, you're going into it, you're like, wow, I know who these characters are. I understand what their benefit, you know, what their powers might be. And I think this is something that people might be interested in that would listen to our show. I know I'm interested in it, and I kind of think that some of you guys might be too.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like a fun game.
All right.
All right. Well, it seems like that would be a good time to throw it to break, and we'll be back with the news.
The 4th annual Sci-Fi Horror Fest is coming with an all-new location, new guests, and all the same fun, charm, and camaraderie that you've come to know and love. Sci-Fi Horror Fest has a new home for 2022 at the Vernon Downs Casino and Hotel in Vernon, New York. Sci-Fi Horror Fest will be held on August 26th and 27th. Sci-Fi Horror Fest is a family-friendly event featuring fun activities, vendors, and a media area with an eclectic group of podcast personalities. Exciting celebrity guest appearances will be announced soon. For more information and to purchase tickets, go to www.sci-fi-horrorfest.com. Sci-Fi Horror Fest is currently looking for volunteers. This is your chance to be a part of the fun. Please note, details of the event are subject to change due to any lasting issues due to COVID-19. Looking for the hottest new comic on the shelf or a keyback issue to complete your run? How about that rare statue or action figure that you've scoured the internet looking for? Come to Collectibles Galore. Located in North Syracuse with ample off-street parking, Collectibles Galore has a huge selection of comics, toys, and rare pop culture items you won't find anywhere else. Comics Galore is always buying comics and toys and will give you the fairest price for your collection. New customers get 15% off their first purchase in store. Collectibles Galore for all of your pop culture needs. Stop in and see for yourself why Collectibles Galore is the king of comics.
Now, before your brain nearly strokes out because your kid asks if they can have some watermelon-shaped watermelon, here's the news. First up, echoes and rumors. New reports are stating that the upcoming Echo series for Disney Plus will feature several returning characters. Charlie Cox's Daredevil and maybe even Kristen Ritter's Jessica Jones are said to be coming back in some form over the course of the series. Also rumored is the return of Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin. Last seen being shot in the head in the final episode of Hawkeye, it said he will be running for mayor of New York and sporting an eye patch as a souvenir of that final shot. This is all excellent news, and I can't imagine anyone is upset that these actors and characters are returning to the MCU fold. My only question is, do eye patches really work well for bald people? I mean, I would imagine with no hair to anchor it in place, it could slide around, especially if you're sweaty. And if you wax your head to make it shiny, seems like a technically challenging accessory to me. In the middle of a fight, it slides over to the wrong eye or ends up on your nose and affects your breathing. Or what if it comes all the way down and you inhale it? Choking to death on your own eye patch is an awfully embarrassing fate, although not as embarrassing as the Clerks 3 trailer. Next up, we have way too much free time on our hands. The Hollywood Reporter has found out the 4th season of Stranger Things has surpassed 1 billion total hours viewed on Netflix worldwide. Overall, Stranger Things 4 has totaled 1.15 billion hours viewed in its first 28 days of release, making it the first English language series to hit over 1 billion viewing hours. While this is an impressive milestone, it's also why we can't cure cancer. When Future looks back at us on why innovation and progress stalled in our time period, they will blame Stranger Things and streaming services. Netflix is apparently the flying cars we were promised. And finally, James Cameron is our angry dad, apparently. Speaking to Empire Magazine about the upcoming Avatar sequels, director James Cameron had some very spicy things to say about the general public. He said, "The trolls will have it that nobody gives a shit and they can't remember the character's name or one damn thing that happened in the movie," he says. "Then they'll see the movie again and go, oh, okay, excuse me, let me just shut the fuck up right now, so I'm not worried about that." On the 3-hour length of the sequel, he said, "I don't want anyone whining about the length when they sit and binge watch television for 8 hours. I can almost write this part of the review, the agonizingly long 3-hour movie. It's like, give me a fucking break. I watch my kids sit and do 5 one-hour episodes in a row. Here's the big social paradigm shift that has to happen. It's okay to get up and go pee." Whew. So it seems James Cameron wants us to shut the fuck up and watch his movies. I mean, I might have done that anyway, but now I'm a little irritated that he went and told me to. Besides the fact that, movie night for 2 is like $100 now, and I don't want to get up to pee and miss anything given the cost. How about you shut the fuck up, James Cameron, and I'll watch your garbage alien movies on streaming for free. And that's the news, kids. Now, did you hear about the impromptu wrestling match at Nathan's famous worldwide hot dog eating contest on July 4th? Anyone? Joey Chestnut once again took the crown, but had to deal with an unexpected protester who worked his way on stage as Chestnut was chowing down. Not waiting for security to get involved, Chestnut took matters into his own hands by putting the kid, who was wearing Star Wars clothes and a Darth Vader mask, in a headlock before throwing him to the side and continuing to eat. Sounds like every middle school lunch period for me. And in other news, in Switzerland, it's illegal to own just one guinea pig. This is because guinea pigs are social animals and they are considered victims of abuse if they are alone. Back to you, Corbs.
Okay.
One second.
Yeah.
In South America, guinea pigs are herd animals that they raise for food.
I did know that, actually.
I
didn't.
It's called koi, C-U-Y. Look it up. Anyway, thanks, Corbs.
Yeah, hey, anytime. All right, so today is going to be kind of quick, sports-wise. So next week is the British Open. It's the longest-running golf match. 150 years it's been played. This is actually the 150th anniversary. Is this year's British Open? It's now called the Open Championship. It's being played at St. Andrews, which is the oldest golf course in the world. So it's pretty neat. The only problem with it is it's over in England and it's played at the ass crack of the morning here in the States. So if you want to watch it like I do, you got to get up, bright early in the morning and turn it on. It does replay throughout the day. Obviously, if you want to watch during the day, you can. If you want to watch it live, you got to be up at like 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning to watch it. Good thing. We'll be awake at that time anyways, as I have to work at 6:30. So I won't have to worry about it for the first 2 days. Other than that, there's not really much I got sports-wise. Just be interesting to see the guys who are playing, the guys that are allowing the guys from Live Tour to play. They've all been suspended from playing in the PGA Tour. The British Open is not technically part of the PGA Tour. It is actually part of the European Tour. So the guys are being able to go and play. More guys have left the tour to go to the Live Tour. You've now got something like 7 of the top 50 guys have defected to the Live Tour, and 25 total from the actual PGA Tour have defected to the Live Tour. It's becoming more and more common. Guys are dropping out every week to go there. It's becoming a awkward situation with guys on the PGA Tour bad mouthing the Live Tour. The guys on Live Tour aren't saying anything. They're just playing. So I don't know.
Cha-ching.
Oh yeah, they're collecting shit ton of money, so they don't have to say anything. So it's just interesting to see. You know, I'm looking forward to the British Open. It's the last major of the year for the guys. So be interesting to see who wins. So I'm looking forward to it. So
Who'd have thought golf controversy? Ooh.
seriously,
I mean, most people think it's the most boring game ever, and this is like such an interesting controversy.
Wouldn't it be interesting, like all these players, like Rory McIlroy will be like the next one that goes to the Live Tour, and then like all these no names, which they're still good up and coming, but Tiger Woods makes one more run and stays with the PGA Tour and wins one more major or something like that.
Yeah, but you know, it'll be diluted because all the best players aren't playing.
yeah, and that's kind of what that's kind of what the PGA Tour is saying. It's like, oh well, 8 of the top 50 guys have left, so you're taking away big names. And the way I look at it is, okay, these guys are going over there to play, but you're also giving guys that don't normally play on the tour a chance.
That was going to be my question. How much viewership or interest would there be if these different, if the different bodies of golf just let other players in instead of just all trying to get the big names?
Well, that's the interesting thing. The Live Tour is the only tour that is being excluded. So the guys from the PGA Tour can play on the European Tour. They can play in the Australian PGA. They can play over in Asia in their PGA. They can go to any of these other organizations and play. They just can't go to the Live Tour. And the reason they can't go to the Live Tour is it's Saudi backed. The money is Saudi backed, and the people that are backing it supposedly have given money to Al Qaeda.
Right.
So that's the reason why. That's the reason why the PGA is having such a hard
Isn't
time.
it better that they're giving money to golfers instead of terrorists now? They should all move over. That makes the world a safer place.
Problem is, they're probably not. They're probably doing both now.
But they were saying that some of the guys that are giving money actually helped finance 9/11. I don't know how true that is. So
I don't think that'd be good for your career to partner up with people like that.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're paying them so much more than they get paid in the PGA. It doesn't matter. I mean, most of these guys can do this round and retire.
yeah, and exactly. That's what a lot of guys are saying. I mean, the kind of money that they're getting to play. I don't know if it's like I don't know how much of a contract. You got to play for 4 years to get the $40 million. You got to play 10 years to get the $100 million in the tour or whatever it might be. But still, $100 million. I'm sorry, you offer me $100 million to go and play. It's $100 million to go and play, and then whatever you win, you keep that money. With the PGA Tour, you have to make the cut in order to get paid. And if you win, obviously you win more money, but you only win in, we'll say $2 million. Well, I'm sorry, if I'm winning $2 million here and you're going to pay me $10 million over there, I'm going over there.
So this is basically like the guaranteed contracts WCW was giving all the WWE stars back during the Monday Night Wars to have them come over. In guaranteed contracts in wrestling were unheard of. You didn't get paid unless you wrestled that night. They were saying, yeah, we'll pay you $5 million for the next year. No matter how much or little you work. And that's why these guys were going for it, because, a lot of them, for instance, Bret Hart, he loved, even though Vince screwed him, he loved the WWE, but he made the decision to go to WCW because he wanted to provide for his family.
Yep.
And it was the guaranteed contract that did it. These guys, they probably wish it wasn't Saudi backed, but they're like, this is money for me to retire on.
Right, exactly.
Hopefully they have like a tournament, like they'll like the Masters is the green jacket. Will they have like the gold jacket like they did in Happy Gilmore or something like that? That'd be kind of cool.
Shooters Tour.
Exactly. Shooter McGavin might try out for the Live Tour. You never know.
So I guess that brings us to Jack's erroneous questions of the week.
Ooh, okay.
Hold on, I got a cat begging to get out. Why
All
did
right.
you come in here?
In the meantime, we'll dance to the music of the horror, the trivia questions of the week. So, dance to the silent music. All right, there we go. So, for this week, as we know, the Horror Fest, Sci-Fi Horror Fest is coming up in August. Let's pay attention and do some horror-themed trivia questions. So, the first question we have: what was Jason's original name in Friday the 13th?
Oh, I don't know this. I didn't know that there was a different name considered.
There was, and actually,
So is it Jack? Did they call him that in the first movie?
no,
Or was it something that was proposed before they went to Jason?
proposed before they went to Jason.
Okay.
That's a good
Oh,
question.
I don't know. I wouldn't know.
I'm gonna say Bob, and they spelled it backwards.
No. Does any
Yeah.
Corbs or
Is it gonna be something easy, Jack?
Steven with a PH.
yes, it's going to be very easy. If you Kev or Hugh, do you want to say about it?
I can't guess. I mean, how many names are there in the world?
A million, over a
Yeah,
million.
I have no idea. I didn't know this was a thing. So, and I'm the horror guy. So,
Corbs, these have been harder lately because everyone keeps getting them, but it's good to have you back because you definitely know a lot of these erroneous trivia questions. So,
I still got nothing, man.
So, once again, we'll say it to the public, what was the original name for Jason and Friday the 13th? And that answer would be the name of Josh.
Oh,
It's
Josh.
different.
Josh Corbett.
Yes, Josh Handlebars mustache, Hugh's beard, Corbs, Lord Cornholio.
Lord Cornhole.
fuck?
Lord Cornholio. All right. So here's the second one. What was the 20th century's first American horror film? This one I did know. I was very impressed.
Count Dracula.
No.
Pretty sure Nosferatu was German. Wouldn't have been Frankenstein. It would have been.
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking Frankenstein.
Um,
It came from the deep.
No.
was it silent?
Was it? I don't know. I think actually, yes, it was. Yes.
I don't know. Unless it actually is Nosferatu. I didn't think that was an American movie.
Frankenstein's mummy.
Hugh, all I'm gonna say is I don't want you guys to keep thinking. Go with your gut. It was Frankenstein.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you got it,
Alright.
bro. Very good. Like I was like, please have confidence in your answer.
Okay,
Like,
that
no,
wasn't silent.
no, yeah.
No, James Whale's Frankenstein. Was it James?
I don't know.
James Whale
Yeah.
or Todd Brown? I don't know. Anyway, yeah.
But yeah, the Sci-Fi Horror Fest is coming up in August, and we're all looking forward to it. So I was like, you know what? Let's do some horror themed erroneous trivia questions of the week.
You should do more of those. I like those. Those are the only ones I've liked so far.
Oh,
That's good.
jeez.
I
All the
like
rest
that-
of them sucked.
I like that theme, Jack. You should. Yeah, I think you're. I think leading up to the Sci-Fi Horror Fest, we should do more horror-based questions just to keep so that listeners understand.
I actually would like to go to like our Facebook page or like ask a question like what should the trivia questions be this week or something like that. But I'll do more horror. I like that, Corbs. You're right. But
Or you
like,
could do anything that Hugh hates because that's fun too.
oh, I plan on it. That's
Yeah,
exactly what
and
I
you
want
know
to
what
do.
else you could do? You could tell Kevin to fuck off. I'm just saying that's an option too.
It's like those trivia questions from the end of Billy Madison. He's like the guy that asks all those questions. He's like, okay, that just got dark now, but
All right. Well, I think this is again a good time to throw it to break.
Actually, I want to.
Oh, that's right. You did want to say.
Yeah,
something.
I want to kind of talk about something, but I want to pose it as a question to you guys.
Sure.
So something happened to somebody very close to me. It was kind of disturbing when I heard it. It wasn't you. It wasn't you. It was a female. It was a female person.
Okay.
Um,
I still
So-
didn't do it.
let's just say you're driving a long distance. You're coming back from somewhere 5, 6, 7, 8 hours whatever it might be. You realize about halfway home, you have to go to the bathroom. So you decide to get off the highway, wherever it might be, and look for a restaurant, national chain, whatever it might be. You find one, and you go into that restaurant, and you immediately head into the bathroom to go to the bathroom to relieve yourself as a female. Like, remember, this is as a female. You lock the door, you sit down on the toilet, you start doing your business. Somebody comes and unlocks the door and walks in on you and says to you, the bathroom is only for paying customers. Do you intend to buy something? The person that walks in is the male manager of the restaurant. Then proceeds to stand there while you are going to the bathroom and proceeds to ask you, are you going to purchase anything or are you going to purchase anything? Not even when you're done. Do you plan on purchasing anything? A, what do you say to the person? And B, do you do anything after that?
Call the cops.
Immediately pull the phone out and call 911.
Exactly.
Immediately.
Exactly.
If there's no sign that says bathroom are for paying bathrooms are for paying
It doesn't
customers
matter.
only.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That
That's
right
your
there, that
privacy.
action, that's completely uncalled for. I don't care what kind of sign they have. I don't care what kind of policy they have. That right there is intent to harass or do
Right.
something worse than that.
Right.
She should have called someone to come and help her. Period. Done.
Exactly.
She should have armed herself. If she had any way to do that, she should have armed herself and prepared for the worst.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what when I heard the story, that's the first thing that I said to myself. First thing you should have done was you should have called the cops while you were still going to the bathroom. You should have called 911 and had somebody there. And the next thing you should have done is you should have called that chain's corporate office and file a complaint with them.
Oh my
And that
God.
person should have been fired on the spot.
100%.
I would say that in this day and age's low bar of proof, that almost might be considered sexual assault.
Oh, absolutely.
Seriously. I mean,
We live in a day and age that technology is very advanced. Definitely pull out your phone, call 911, and when they say, "Oh, you need to come out of that bathroom," you lock yourself in that bathroom.
seriously.
and
Barricade
stay
yourself
there
in.
until the cops show
Was
up.
she in a stall or was it like
No.
just an open? So
Open
they
bathroom.
just saw her sitting on the toilet.
Yeah. Pants
Oh,
down
wow.
around pants down around her knees. Physically going now my thing is she was just going to the
Oh,
bathroom.
My God.
What if it was that time of the month and she was doing her business for that? And having, I mean, it's just it's such an invasion of privacy. And then proceed to not leave, to stand there.
I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've walked into a restaurant and used the bathroom first. That's
Right.
happened to me plenty of times if I had to go.
As
But
far
it's
as
it's not good though when you go to the bathroom, you have the door locked and now it's being unlocked on you. It's like, oh my God, now I'm freaked out. Like that's
Right,
really
exactly. You physically lock the door and they come and unlock the door.
Is this person taking any action?
No. I keep
What
trying
was-
to I keep trying to tell them that they should. I'm not the only one that's telling them that they should. They just don't want to. It's
What,
it's,
what
it's
chain
that
was it?
person. It's that person's personality. They don't like to ruffle feathers.
well, I mean, I'm sure she feels embarrassed also.
The chain was Chipotle.
I'm sure she feels embarrassed also. She doesn't want to out in public. She doesn't want her name on anything like this.
I don't disagree with that, Kev. I don't. I'm almost tempted to say something on social media myself. That's why I figured I'd bring it up here. I didn't. I'm not going to reveal who it happened to. The restaurant is Chipotle. I don't eat there, but I will never eat there now. And I don't care how good the food is. I don't care if people tell me the food is the best food. It's laced with gold. When you shit out when you shit out the food after it comes out as a gold brick, I will never, ever, ever step in a Chipotle
Oh,
because that happened.
I've never liked the restaurant anyway. I've only eaten there
Yeah.
once. I've
It's a
never
bougie
gone
Mexican
back.
place, basically. It's bougie
So-
Mexican.
And the food sucks. The food has
And-
always
and-
been
Hey, no
bad.
offense. It's a Mexican restaurant. I will eat at Taco Bell before I eat at Chipotle. And I hate
Well-
Taco Bell. I like Moe's for Mexican. I'm a big Moe's fan.
Yeah.
I will go there. I will go out of my way to go to a Moe's before I go to a Chipotle.
Well, you know that the employees won't burst in on you in a Taco Bell because they do not want to be anywhere near what you're doing in their bathroom
Oh God, yeah,
because
that
of the food
Crunchwrap-
they serve.
yeah, that Crunchwrap Supreme going through you. Oh my God, no way, man.
So I'll just put a spin on this that maybe nobody in this room would agree with, and that's fine. But I'm of a mind that a woman needs to protect herself first and ask questions second. Had this woman been armed, I would have been a proponent of her shooting first and asking questions later. As soon as that door opened and she saw that it was someone that had a key, knew it was locked, and knew there was somebody in there, that should have been the end of it. It should have been the end of the fucking conversation. Is that extreme? Yes.
But you,
Would
but
it-
you're not. But
Would it be called for? Well, that's for a judge to decide.
Right.
But I got to tell you, and it's already been said in this conversation and in today's environment, I got a feeling that woman would have had a lot of people on her side.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Does-
definitely. I don't agree with that. It's and Kev, you're right. You in this day and age, with what the shit has been going on lately, you have no idea what that person was thinking when they walked into that.
I'll tell you, they weren't thinking,
And the
because
worst
that's
part about it
uncalled
is-
for.
The worst part of it is she was in there all by. There was nobody else in the bathroom. The door was locked. She was by herself.
Well, it's a
Yeah,
one
man.
hitter, obviously.
Yeah, and a male walked into that restroom, unlocked the door, and walked into that restroom with you. You have no idea what that person. You have no idea what he's capable of. You have no idea what he's thinking. You're
I
right,
pity-
Kev.
I
You're right,
pity,
Kev. At that point, if you're armed, yeah, it's shoot first and deal with the consequences after that.
I pity the son of a bitch that ever does that to my wife. She travels alone for her job.
Yeah.
And if that ever happens to her, I'll hunt the fucker down and I'll skin him alive.
When I heard this, I was seeing red. I'm like, this is what needs to happen. This person needs to do this right now. You need to call corporate. You need to call. It wasn't even. It was out of state, so I think that's some of the reason why she's not pursuing it as much as she should. But I do think that this person needs to reach out to the corporate headquarters and explain to them what happened with this manager.
Well, yeah. What if he does it to someone else?
That's what I'm saying.
He
could
already
just-
has.
Yeah, he
already
must
has.
have to be that brazen. This is not the first time.
And-
This is his modus operandi. This is
Well-
what he does.
Those are I actually have two quick questions for you, Corbs. I know we're run short on time, but like, did that person have their cell phone with them?
Of
And
course, always.
okay, and like, I know they don't like to ruffle feathers, but like what we just said though, this is not the first time they've done that. If she hears that he's probably not done this a first time, would that actually help a little bit, or probably is it still the same? No, would that? Yeah, you don't know.
I
You-
mean, that maybe the guy's a sexual predator and that's his
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
what if it's a 12-year-old girl in there next time?
Oh Jesus, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you're right. So I've been, every time I talk to this person, I let them know that they need to do something, even if it's called corporate, and have this person reported and let them know what's going on. So
Yeah.
That's
sorry,
awful.
didn't mean to bring the room down there, but
Oh, that's
Well-
okay. I mean, you didn't bring it down as far as it would have if we'd all watched the Clerks 3 trailer together or something.
it's true.
That's okay. Corbs, come here. Give me a hug. Come
And
on.
on that note,
Bring it in. Bring
and on
it
that
in.
note, we're going to break.
Yes,
Bring
we
it
are.
in.
We'll be right back and we'll wrap this thing up.
The 4th annual Sci-Fi Horror Fest is coming with an all-new location, new guests, and all the same fun, charm, and camaraderie that you've come to know and love. Sci-Fi Horror Fest has a new home for 2022 at the Vernon Downs Casino and Hotel in Vernon, New York. Sci-Fi Horror Fest will be held on August 26th and 27th. Sci-Fi Horror Fest is a family-friendly event featuring fun activities, vendors, and a media area with an eclectic group of podcast personalities. Exciting celebrity guest appearances will be announced soon. For more information and to purchase tickets, go to www.sci-fi-horrorfest.com. Sci-Fi Horror Fest is currently looking for volunteers. This is your chance to be a part of the fun. Please note, details of the event are subject to change due to any lasting issues due to COVID-19. Looking for the hottest new comic on the shelf or a key back issue to complete your run? How about that rare statue or action figure that you've scoured the internet looking for? Come to Collectibles Galore, located in North Syracuse with ample off-street parking. Collectibles Galore has a huge selection of comics, toys, and rare pop culture items you won't find anywhere else. Comics Galore is always buying comics and toys and will give you the fairest price for your collection. New customers get 15% off their first purchase in store. Collectibles Galore for all of your pop culture needs. Stop in and see for yourself why Collectibles Galore is the king of comics.
Okay, and now it is time for the weekly topic. So I got a good one for you guys. So here it is. What is your favorite thing about Paul not being here and why? Go ahead, Kev.
Because I like to make fun of him.
Because you what?
I like to make fun of him. I like to say things about him that may or may not be true, and I'm not going to tell you whether they are or not.
Give us an example of one of those things, Kevin.
Like whether or not he actually invited me over to his house to eat food, or whether or not I might have just invited myself. And also the fact that we're not talking about Clerks 3.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely thrilled about that.
Yeah, definitely thrilled about not having to talk about Kevin Smith constantly.
Incessantly.
Yes.
To the point of it, it's like, he turns his head away to take Kevin's, balls out of his mouth and talk. And then when we talk, he turns back and continues. Yeah.
Yes, I don't disagree with that, Hugh. I think he has some type of sex doll in his basement that has got Kevin Smith's face on it. That he does that too. I mean, I have never seen somebody that obsessed with that.
I mean, it'd be pretty easy to take one of those John Cena pillow wrestlers, put a trench coat on him and some long hair and a beard and turn it into a Kevin Smith doll.
He's already got the hat with long hair on it.
Oh yeah. He probably uses that. But you didn't say what your favorite thing about him not being here was.
You got to give me a minute on that one.
All right. Well, we'll go on to Jack. Jack, what's yours?
Well, that really happened too. When we went to Buffalo years ago, we met Kevin Smith. We did that Q&A and all that. And I was like, Paul, I'm glad we're doing this together. He would not obsessing about Kevin Smith. Like, it was 2 hour Kevin Smith love connection. And I was like, come on, bro, you got to get your own material. He's like, but Kevin Smith this, Kevin Smith that. It's like, okay, bro, where do you want to eat? He's like, well, Kevin Smith likes this. I'm like, yes, you said that. Do we need to go to therapy with this? And like, I'm like, literally, I was like, you all remember the episode, Kev, go back to the archives. I'm like, I have to shit. I'm going to shit my pants. He's like, well, we met Kevin Smith. I'm like, you don't give a fuck about me right now. I'm going to shit my pants. So no, I guess the thing I'm missing is like, we have a free reign of the ship right now. It's like the 4 best friends right now. We're doing pretty well, I would say, all of us. So I think we're doing pretty damn well. So we can keep this going.
Oh, poor Paul.
Hashtag no Paul tonight. Hashtag amazingness. So just being doing what we want to do, and no Clerks 3 trailer, as we said, because it dropped today, but I don't give a fuck. I don't really want to watch that right now. I'd rather be talking to my 3 best friends and then maybe our captain Paul if he ever comes back, because we have Corbs now, so we can do another a night without Paul. But what about you, Corbs? Do you have something good?
Just, I don't know. It's just the fact that the podcast itself, when he's here, I don't know what it is when he's here, but for some reason, every topic we have goes off the fucking rails.
No.
It's not that we don't like when it's just the 4 of us or whatever, but when he's here, I don't know what it is. For some reason, it feels like it just goes batshit crazy 90% of the time. Like we both start talking, and the next we're on to a different subject, completely out of the ordinary.
I actually don't think that's him. And while I don't want to take credit for this. If you notice, I'm not stopping and writing shit down. So like when there's a pause, I'm interjecting faster to try to, prevent, I mean, no offense, Jack, but Jack definitely will go off on a tangent. If we leave blank space, Jack will start talking to fill it. And I'm hyper on top of that just because, I want to get the show done earlier. But I know what you mean, but I don't think that's Paul's fault. I mean, we can blame a lot of shit on Paul, but we can't blame that on him, I don't think.
Sure.
I do go off on topics, but as I get older, I don't give a fuck anymore. And I don't really want to anymore.
There you go. There you go.
All right. Well, I'll tell you.
Hashtag.
My favorite thing is just being able, because I know he's going to go back through this and he's going to edit it and he's going to laugh his ass off, or he'll fire us all. But no, I'm pretty sure he's going to laugh his ass off because he likes it when we bust balls, and we get a chance to without him trying to fight back. It's like he's defenseless. We can just kick the shit out of him verbally. It's so much fun. And if he wanted to, he'd come back at us next week when he's back. But so far he hasn't.
And for a fact he's going to come back next week, and he's going to be all about the Clerks 3 trailer.
Yeah,
we're going to spend like an entire segment on just the trailer.
Yeah,
dissecting it. He'll be listening to the segment. He'll be like, "Oh wow, we got the news. We got some sports talk. We got the tabletop review. We got the questions. Wait, is this a bashing of Paul segment? I love this shit."
Yeah, it's a good chance to have some fun. Like I couldn't have done the hat gag with him here because I'm not leading the show, so I'm not supposed to wear the stupid hat. That's his thing. So if he's here, I can't do his thing. Tonight, I'm doing his thing, so I can get away with it.
I wear a stupid hat every week.
That is a pretty fucking stupid hat. Don't wear it in public. It'll do you no favors. So with that all being said, really the next segment is, midstream. If anybody's watching anything, I will say that I had the opportunity to catch a movie that came out last fall. It's called 13 Fanboy. And what it is, it's a meta kind of movie because it's about a killer that loves the Friday the 13th franchise and goes on and starts murdering actors from the franchise. And they have a ton of actors in the movie, like people from, the earlier Friday the 13th movies, the guys that play Jason, Kane Hodder and CJ Graham, who's going to be at the upcoming Sci-Fi Horror Fest, are both in the movie. And there's a lot of they're going to conventions. These are people that go to conventions together. They all know each other. They're friends. And then this mystery about this killer, and this killer starts, knocking them all off. It's super meta, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I'm surprised it took me this long to watch it. And it gave me some ideas for some questions should we get a chance to interview CJ Graham at the convention. So I know horror isn't really your guys' thing, but I thought it was worth mentioning for everyone else because this is a horror movie kind of set in real life about a horror movie and the people that starred in it. But it's not like a mind bender. It's very clear from the opening gate that this is set in the real world and about the actors who all participated in this.
It seems like it's almost like a horror comedy almost.
No. It's not funny. It's definitely not comedy. It's played straight.
Okay.
But
the way you were explaining it, it seemed like it might be like a horror comedy almost, like almost like these guys are like, okay, all the actors or some of the old actors from the old movies are like kind of just walking around the streets or whatever type of thing, and next they're dead.
Yeah. No, this is more in line with like Wes Craven's New Nightmare. where they have the actors up from the Nightmare on Elm Street film, and it's in a world where those are really films, and then Freddy somehow comes to life and starts killing the real actors involved. Same kind of idea, but this is an independent production, and it was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
When did it come out?
October of last year, I believe.
Oh, neat.
Huh. Sounds
If
really
you've
cool.
ever enjoyed the Friday the 13th series, it's definitely a must watch.
Sounds fun.
So anybody else been watching anything?
Go ahead, Jack, and I'll do my last.
I'll save Stranger Things for another time, but the latest episode of The Boys, we have one episode left before the season finale. Hearing this, like, yes, so I was watching that this past week, and that was really good. It always, like, it is very entertaining, but the last little segment, the one with Homelander and then Soldier Boy talking, and when like Soldier Boy says, "I am your father,"
I'm not completely caught up yet. Just
okay.
So I just watched
Okay.
the second to the last. So not the most recent one, but the one before that. Herogasm. I just watched that one.
Yes.
So we're almost caught up.
Okay, then I know what I'm talking about.
Oh man, it's so fucked up.
Oh, it's really fucked up. Wait till the last segment though in the latest episode. That's all I'll say. But like,
There's an after credit scene on the most recent episode, and I didn't know that. I have to go back and watch it.
oh, is there? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't see it either. So okay. We definitely should talk about the season finale next week though. We should also hopefully
Oh,
we
yeah.
have time. But like this season has been, oh my god, it just like keeps getting like this has been the best season for sure.
So over the top.
Way over the top. Like I'm so curious what they're gonna do for sure. So I watched that. I don't want to spoil it anymore. Thank you, Kev, for making me stop. But Hugh's face though, like that last little thing, I was like, holy
Yeah.
shit, that was cool.
Yeah, I love this season. The only thing that's really pulling me out of it is I found out that the actress who plays Starlight had surgery done on her face. And this entire season, I've been, why does she not look the same? Why does she look fucking different? And I looked it up, and she had like her cheeks, fat pulled out of her cheeks, and something done with her nose.
Oh.
I knew there was something different because, you know, from the first season, the second season, you know, she had a very youthful appearance, and now she's kind of got like the glamour model Kardashian bitchiness thing going on.
That's too
And I'm
bad.
just like, I mean, not extreme. I'm not saying she's not an attractive girl. I mean, and we shouldn't judge her based on that anyway.
No.
But it just really took me out of it because I'm like, something doesn't look right. And it took 5 episodes for me to think to look it up and see if she had something done. Because that's not the first thing I thought. I was just like, why does she look different? Did something happen?
Well, it's kind of like the girl that did Dirty Dancing there. What's her name?
Jennifer Grey.
Jennifer Grey. You know, she fixed her nose, and then nobody knows who she is.
Yeah, Reese Witherspoon looks like she always sucked a lemon, and now she doesn't even look like herself anymore.
I don't know why they do that.
No, just age.
Too many people listen to other people that they shouldn't
Yeah.
be listening to. That's too bad. I didn't know that. I know maybe I picked up on that she looked a little different, but I just figured it was like everything else. Everybody just aged because of, you know, the COVID apocalypse.
Yeah.
So
Well, how about you, Kev? You said you had something.
that's all I had was the boys. I just wanted to say, you know, the wife and I we watched that one episode, and wow, holy cow!
How about you, Lord Corbett?
Nothing for me. I haven't really been watching much TV. Obviously, because for the last 2 weeks I've been at my buddy's. He didn't have any like the paid channels or anything like that, so I would just go and watch ridiculousness for hours at a time.
Well, I will say that watched the second episode of Westworld today. It's still really well done. The acting's good, and there's nothing wrong with the story. I just don't understand where we are. I mean, I think I'm starting to get an idea of what's going on here, but there was apparently a 7-year time jump between season 3 and season 4, and a lot of pieces got moved around, and I feel like they could have done a better job. Because, okay, who was it? One of the actors, Ed Harris, I believe, said season 4 is a lot easier to understand because season 3 was a little challenging to follow. He came out and said, this is a lot easier to understand. And I'm like, you know, are we watching the same show that he filmed? Because I'm not feeling like that's the case. I mean, everything makes sense within the context of the story they're telling right now, but I'm not sure how the fuck we got here from where we were. And maybe they're going to tell that story, but you know, it's challenging, especially when you drop an audience into a completely different situation with a property they already love and have familiarity with it. There's a way to do it so that, you know, they're a little off on their off foot and make it interesting. And then there's a way to do it where they're just confused. And I think that maybe this wasn't the proper way to go about it.
So season 4 is that they're all out in the world now, right?
Yeah, they were last
Okay.
year too, but for the most part, I think they went back to Westworld once or twice, and I think there was some shit that happened in like China World or something.
I wonder if I even saw season 3. I don't think I did.
It was kind of all over the place. I mean, I'll tell you, the first 2 seasons had this air of fantasy, the idea that there could be a place that's that real. And that's kind of the whole concept of Westworld. That's the entire movie that this is all
Right.
based on.
Right.
Seasons 3 and 4 don't have that at all
Oh,
because that fantasy element is removed. Now it's about robots that look like people in the real world. You know, this could be a sequel to Blade Runner. You know, that doesn't mean it's bad. And I'm not saying that it's not worth watching. I'm not saying I don't want 3 more seasons of it, but it's turned into a different show for sure. I mean, the first 2 seasons, I would watch it and then I would spend the next hour thinking about the moral implications of some of the shit I saw there. Now it's just
Right.
a regular sci-fi drama. And I'm not really considering, you know, because there's no moral implications. You know, there's good guys and bad guys, and it's all very clear.
yeah, because the robots are sentient now.
Yeah.
Well,
They're
they were.
basically people.
They always were. They finally woke up. You know,
But
neat. It's a neat show. Neat show.
it is a neat show. But that's all I've got. Anybody else have any business they want to bring up tonight?
I'm just going to let you guys know I won't be here next week again. I
Okay.
am taking my son to Hershey, Pennsylvania.
All right. Well,
So-
thanks for letting us know you won't be home.
Yes.
You're gonna give them the Hershey squirts.
Dude.
No, we're his birthday is next Wednesday, so he wanted to go someplace, and I've never really taken him, just him and I on a vacation together. So we were supposed to go in March to Hershey for a hockey tournament with my nephew, and we ended up not going. So he's been telling me all since then he wanted to go to Hershey. He wants to go to Hershey. He wants to go to the chocolate factory. We're going to the chocolate factory. We're going to do the park. So we're going down on Wednesday and we're coming back on Friday. So
Happy early birthday to your son, by the way, Corbs.
thanks, sir. I can't believe it'll be 15. He's next year. He gets to drive.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, that's not happening.
He's like, no.
I've seen him drive the Batmobile in the arcade games.
Ah!
How's that look? Your face is priceless. Oh God.
It's not good. Not good at all. So, but yeah,
Corbs
so,
doesn't have a helmet on. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm just picturing that.
so I've actually thought about this summer taking him to like the high school or the junior high school and let him drive around in the parking lot just to get used to the driving and all that stuff. So, yeah, so I won't be here again next week.
All right, guys, get all your Corbs material ready for next week.
Seriously,
Yep.
because I won't watch it, so it doesn't really matter.
All right. Well, I guess that's going to be the end of the show. Corbs, you got something to say to me?
Yeah, do you have any nuggets to drop today?
I do have a nugget to drop today.
Well, then drop your nuggets, baby.
All right. Anyone can be glamorous. All you have to do is stand still and look stupid. That's the show, folks. Ensign Jack, take us out.
This has been a GeekPod Network production.